What up, beautiful people? So, 3 major reasons why evolved woman is just not settling for less anymore. And when I'm talking about an evolved woman, I'm talking about a woman who has grew, who has learned from her past, and she classifies herself as a high valued woman. That can be y'all ladies. That's how I classify myself. So, the number one reason why she is not settling for less anymore is because she stopped believing in the generational curse. She broke the generational cycle. She stopped convincing herself that this is okay, that the bare minimum, the disrespect, the cheating, the lying is just not gonna suit her needs anymore. Growing up, we see our past generations, or maybe it could be our grandma, maybe it could be some of your mothers, maybe it could be your friends, maybe it could be your family, your cousins. We see women in our families getting hurt, constantly getting disrespected, constantly getting mistreated, and they settle for these type of relationships because they think this is the best that they can get, or they settle because of kids or finances, or because of comfortability, or because they just believe that there's not better things on the other side of leaving that toxic relationship. So woman is just not going to be settling for less anymore. When she broke the curse of believing and convincing herself that this is the way love is supposed to be, this is the way how it's supposed to feel like. Now, mind you, growing up, I've seen my grandma getting mentally, verbally abused by her husband, and it was there was a whole bunch of disrespect going on behind the scenes. Now, growing up, we've seen our family members, the women in our family, constantly getting cheated on and disrespected. And what do? They stay. They make excuses for them. They sweep things under the rug. And an evolved woman, she came to her senses that that's not love. This is not happiness. This is not going to bring her fulfillment. She knows there's someone else greater and better waiting for her on the other side. She stopped believing and she stopped glorifying these social media couples or marriages where the woman is constantly getting dogged out by her significant other and getting cheated on and being embarrassed on these social media platforms. An evolved woman just knows these bare minimum relationships is not gonna cut it. It's not gonna justify her life anymore. She's also not gonna show her kids that this is the type of love you should seek, or this is the type of love that's okay, that's gonna bring you happiness. She's seen where her family, where her friends, her cousins, she sees what her environment is constantly going through, and she's learning from it. She's on the outside looking in, and she's like, I just don't want this for my life. I don't want this for my future. I don't want this for my relationship. Evolved women, they learn not to stay comfortable. They know not to settle in these kind of relationships that is going to continuously keep failing, where it's going to keep putting more trauma and depression, and they're going to keep having to heal from because their families didn't heal from it. Their families think it's okay. She broke the stigma of believing that every single man that she could potentially seek, or anyone that she wants, is trash. She stopped believing in the negativity. She stopped believing in the drama, and her watching her friends and her family suffering from these broken relationships and toxic cycles. She vowed and committed to herself that that is not what she wants. That is not who she is, to settle for less, to shrink herself, to satisfy others. She knows what she brings to the table. She knows who she is, and she just wants someone to match her energy. She wants someone to enhance her life. Not that she could depend on to make her happy, to make her feel safe, or she's not being with someone where she's forcing herself because of finances or kids or convenience. That's why she's not settling anymore, because she grew. She just learned not to stay comfortable. Number 2, why evolved women are not settling for less. Women are becoming entrepreneurs. Women are becoming goals oriented, and they're making their goals a priority. We're in modern times now. We're not going to just stay home, watch the kids, and then let our significant other do all the work and they be in control of our household. Nowadays, women are becoming go-getters. Women are becoming CEOs, entrepreneurs. They're building their own establishment. They're providing for their family. They're becoming the breadwinners. And not to say that there's anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mom, but when a woman has goals and she's getting up and she's fulfilling herself and she's filling in her purpose, romance and love comes later. That will come into place. She's not out there seeking for love to make her happy, to make her feel joy. She's not in a relationship because of stability or because she needs a place to stay or she needs a roof over her head. She got everything all taken care of on her own. She is well on her way. That's why she's not settling anymore, because she wants to make sure that when she gets to where she wants to be in her destination, she wants someone that is going to match her energy. She also doesn't want to be home and God forbid her husband or her man is cheating on her. Then she's going to become homeless because he's the one who's doing all the providing, bringing all the stability. And, she's just living off of him. And from growing up, learning from my grandma and my past generations, you never want to depend on someone for a roof over your head or for money or for stability. You want to make sure you do everything on your own, because the tables could turn. One day they could love you, the next day they don't even like you anymore. The next day they could play you. So an evolved woman who has goals and she has a life to fulfill for herself, she's not going to just be settling for less, and she's not going to just be with anybody. Number 3, why an evolved woman is just not settling anymore is because she learned her lesson. She went through the betrayal, she went through the heartbreak, she went through the hurt, but she didn't just went through the hurt, she grew from the hurt. She grew from her lessons. She learned from her pain. She endured all the lessons that she had to grow from to get her to the next level, so she could end that cycle of trauma and begin a new cycle of healing, to new beginnings, for endless opportunities, for better love. And she also realizes that she's worthy of someone who is better and greater, especially if her last relationship was a failed relationship and it was all jokes and she felt like she was dealing with a little boy. An evolved woman is not going to just be settling anymore, waiting for her Prince Charming to come knocking on the door. She's healed, she's grown, she's a whole different version of herself. She stepped into her feminine energy. She got closer to God. She built a relationship with God. She tapped into her spirituality. She also tapped into her discernment. She started investing into herself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, maybe even financially, because to level up and be a high value woman or be an evolved woman, it doesn't always have to be financially. You got to do the inner work within yourself. And that's what she did. She took the broken pieces from her failed relationship or from the lessons that she endured by herself. She turned her pain into purpose. She did not let the relationship, she did not let the breakup stop her. She didn't let it rob her from her joy or deter her from her destiny. And now she gained a whole better perspective. She started listening to podcasts, reading a lot of self-love books, because that gets you through it. That helps you change. If you don't learn how to change from the situation is going to change you. So it's better that you learn before the situation makes you learn. So what I'm trying to say, why evolved woman is just not going to settle anymore, because for a lot of us, pain has changed her. Now listen to me very closely. Not only that pain changed her, it molded her. It leveled her up. It changed her mindset. She sees things from a whole different perspective. It molded her into the person that she is meant to be. Now she's a whole new version of herself. She's not that same person who was broken, who was damaged, who was hopeless, who was trying to cope with everything. Instead, she healed. She learned how to heal. And that's what a lot of people don't know how to do. That's why they settle and they get into these broken, failed relationships, because they don't heal. Instead of suppressing and using people as a coping mechanism or as a distraction, she went through the emotions. Now she's on the other side, and she knows that greater and better is on the other side. She knows from her lesson, there is a blessing. A lot of y'all think that life is going to be easy. To find that significant other is going to be easy, but you got to go through lessons so you can get to your blessing. If you just going through it and you're not learning, you're not evolving, you're going to keep going through it until you learn, until you evolve. Either you change from the situation or the situation is going to change you. Pain has changed her. and it molded her. And that's why she is an evolved woman. She has a high valued mindset and she's just not gonna settle anymore. So I hope y'all like this content. And if you do, please like, comment, and subscribe. And share your thoughts. Let me know. What are you thinking? You know, share your story. This is a safe place. But I'll be back with more videos.